Aditi Aggarwal, a visionary artist with a PhD in visual studies from the University of Delhi, has earned recognitions like the Gold Medal in her MFA and the Sailoz Award during her BFA for her academic skills. She participated in the prestigious Indo-European Residency Project Kolkata in 2019 and has further showcased her academic engagement by presenting and publishing papers at various research seminars. Aditi's creative endeavors delve into themes of repetition, beauty, automatism, and spontaneity through bookmaking and painting. Notably, she co-founded Studio 89, an artistic space dedicated to exploring analog and alternative photographic methods and approaches.
Hi, my name is Aditi, and talking about my early life, I come from a family of professionals working in art and education domain. My father is a freelance photographer who specializes in industrial and product photography, and my mother worked as an associate professor. She used to teach MBA students at a university in Noida. एंड ऑब्वियसली जैसे हमारा जो घर था उसमें जो फर्स्ट फ्लोर था वो हमारा रेजिडेंशियल था और जो ग्राउंड फ्लोर था वो हम लोगों का बेसिकली दैट वाज माय फादर्स स्टूडियो सो आई यूज्ड टू स्पेंड अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम देयर बिकॉज एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम ही वाज वर्किंग मोर इनटू एनालॉग प्रोसेसेस सो आई रिमेंबर एज अ चाइल्ड आई यूज्ड टू असिस्ट हिम इन डेवलपिंग फिल्म्स जो भी एनालॉग का प्रोसेस था. And during my childhood, I remember, in the studio, there were many artists, designers, art directors who came to our house. And I used to spend, time with them, interactions, hoti thi kafi. और मेरे को मतलब since childhood only I thought of becoming an artist, and at that point of time my aim was also to be a designer. And I remember as a child, I was one of those very shy, reserved, introvert kids. And whenever, there were these get-togethers, parties, I remember I used to go to my this small study room that we had. I used to lock myself up there and I used to start creating these little crafty kind of creations, origami or anything of that sort. And while these guests or these friends were leaving, I remember I used to present my little creations, and that was in a way my way of expressing my love for them, because I couldn't really express myself through words, so through gestures and just through art that became this outlet for me to kind of express whatever feelings that I had. After completing my schooling, I went on to study graphic designing. So मैंने बैचलर्स में इनरोल करा था ग्राफिक डिज़ाइनिंग के लिए और मैंने 1 साल फाउंडेशन कोर्स करा. एंड ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम आई रियलाइज दैट आई डिडंट वांटेड टू बी अ डिज़ाइनर, आई वांटेड टू बी अ पेंटर. So I told my parents about it and they were very supportive. And so the next year, after having like 1 year, after completing 1 year of foundation in graphic designing, मैंने College of Art का entrance दिया and luckily I got through. So उसके बाद फिर मैंने अपना पेंटिंग का जर्नी वहीं से स्टार्ट करा. Talking about the turning points in my artistic journey, first was obviously getting enrolled at University of Delhi's College of Art, which is premier institutes in Delhi. And I think the most, the point wherein I really felt confident of taking forward my journey was the final year of my bachelor's degree program, wherein I was awarded the Sailoz Award, which is the Academic Excellence Award. So I think uske baad I became more confident to take up the journey for art. And I think another turning point was after I started off with my PhD degree from University of Delhi. I think during that time, within the period of 4 or 5 years, I met a lot of artists, like mainstream artists, because I was writing about them. And what you read in the books and having one-to-one conversation is very different. And I think once I started to interact with them, there was like a new world literally opened up for me to kind of explore, and just another dimension to be seen. Another important, I think I would like to consider that to be a milestone in my artistic career. was in 2019, wherein I was awarded this residency by British Council, Kolkata, along with Alphonse Français and Max Muller, which was in collaboration with Vishwabharati Shantiniketan and a gallery in Kolkata called Seema. So during that residency, we were 4 people selected, and I was the one from India in visual arts. The other participants, one was theatre director from England, another was an illustrator from France, and one was an author from Germany who was basically into writing into crime fiction. And 4 of us were staying in one bungalow, which was at a place called Sarath Bose Road in Kolkata. It was a residency for 2 months. 4 of us were like complete strangers, staying together in one bungalow, and there was a lot of bouncing of ideas. They were contemporaries, approximately of the same age group, coming from varied backgrounds and cultures and different countries altogether. So I think that kind of bouncing of ideas also kind of opened like a new world for me to explore. And also as a part of the residency, I got this beautiful opportunity to work at Kala Bhavan. And I chose a printmaking department. Printmaking and this idea of multiplication, that again, like as my artistic practice, that was another dimension that I got to explore, which was because of that residency. So I think that was another kind of turning point which gave me like new dimensions to explore. When I was at Calcutta, so the kind of work that I was making, that was like a translation of the digital photo montages into something that's very analog, and the translation was on PS plate lithography, which is like a very analog process, as I said. So yeah, I was always good at Photoshop, considering the fact that I used to assist my father in his business purposes. But I never really thought of utilizing my photoshopping skills for my artistic expression. And it is during that time that I thought of utilizing it, and also taking the images that were created directly in the most raw format into an exhibition space. And while I was working on those lines, I got this opportunity to exhibit my work as a part of the NFT show at Bikaner House. It was called Terrain Offline through terrain.art. And I exhibited a few photo montages there, and the work was recognized, the work was appreciated. And through that, I got this opportunity to design a cover wrap for the new BMW X7. And the work, for that particular opportunity, I was nominated by a group of esteemed jury members comprising of Jaya Shokan, artist duo Thukral and Tagra, Shalini Pasi and Dipanjana. Through that offer, I designed a cover wrap which spoke about the hybridization and this idea of climate change, and how we talk about evolution, but then we have to recognize the ancient past and take things into consideration. So the design was open later for a round of public voting and also for a round of jury votes. And after the compilation, I was declared as the first runner-up. So yeah, that was one of the opportunities that I got recently. So Studio A89 is basically a studio that's initiated by me and my dad. And the idea is to kind of revive the analog and the alternative processes of image making, which were kind of existing, prior to the digital era, and also alternative because that's the foundation of photography, wherein the images are camera-less. So that's another aspect that we are kind of focusing upon. So the studio is also a very vibrant kind of a place which offers, a space for creative conversation and visual art education in general, and this cross disciplinary inquiry and creative discourse. And so yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a very all inclusive kind of a space. Yeah, I mean, the studio is kind of marked by various art materials, spontaneity and vibrance. We have had, in the past, we have had a lot of presentations. In fact, in 2020 or 21, we also had a screening. The screening was of a movie which was based on Professor Jai Jarotia, and it was organized by Dhumimal Gallery. So that was also presented at Studio A89. So yeah, I mean, it's an all-inclusive space. The current set of works that I'm doing, an endeavor to bring my study as a painter and also my experience of photography in general, whether it's theoretical or it's practical. So these are the two things that I'm focusing upon, and I'm kind of working towards these two aspects, and I'm creating a body of work which will be presented as a part of a solo show that I'm in talks with a few galleries in New Delhi. So I'm currently working on a set of canvases, big canvases, and also I have created a set of gum bichromates. So these are the two things that I'm working upon, and this is like something that this is something that's upcoming. This is another project that I've been working on. It's basically an integration of AI, artificial intelligence in art, and wherein I'm working with various tools like photogrammetry, image generators, text generators, and video generators, so on and so forth, and just to kind of how we can use all these kind of tools to create or to kind of express one idea. So that's something that I'm working upon. It's a project that I was selected for quite recently, and things are in progress. So whenever things they shape up. So definitely, that's something that I'm looking forward to. For me, art is, apart from being self, expression and a form of self-expression, it is also a form of revelation. That is something that I strongly believe in, and even my practice kind of focuses upon this idea of self-portrait, where you're kind of revealing aspects about your journey, things that influence you all around. It could be culture, it could be personal life, it could be just politics, or just could be any aspect of life. And you are kind of revealing that, how you are absorbing things and then reflecting it. So for me, art is a form of revelation and obviously a form of expression. There's so many things that inspire a person to express, that could also be a part of your identity, say your upbringing, or just the place that you're living. It's everything is like reflection. So, and being reflective, being like revealing is something that art for me is. As I mentioned, as a kid growing up, I was very shy, reserved. And I think I started to open up only when I came into the professional world. After my master's degree program, I started to teach. And I got opportunity to teach at a modern school, Pathways, wherein the idea is to approach one thing, from varied point of views, because ultimately you are dealing with kids. And I was teaching PYP batch, which is the primary. And the youngest kids need the most amount of explanation, and I think it's there that I really started to express myself, because when you are dealing with kids, there is no way that you can bluff or you can take things for granted. You have to be very honest. And I think that's where I started to develop, I started to kind of notice that I was more confident when I spoke on anything and everything. And so I think because of this only, I got many opportunities in my teaching career also. I taught at College of Art for 6-7 years on visiting basis at Department of Painting. And I think it's just my interaction with the kids, with like kids of primary school, that really helped me to get over that hitch. So I think just interaction with kids can really help you at even in your artistic career, I would say. So I think this is a good time for women to be in art. You see a lot of women artists working, and who are right now iconic names, like half of them are women. And even if I just talk about India or Delhi for that matter, I would say half of the gallerists are women. So I think it's a very positive kind of reinforcement, affirmation to be in this time as a female and in the art world. The future is positive, and I would like to believe in that. It's hopeful for the women in the field. I see Chaibrary, like even when I was watching their other videos, so I really like the fact that it's like a first-hand information of the artist talking about themselves, their journey, something that we don't really read, or we don't really get to hear, because it's the other person is talking about the artist. So it's a first-hand information, which that really helped me to connect with the channel. And also I like how this platform is kind of giving an opportunity for the artists, and also for a wider audience across geography and from various walks of life. I mean, I like how the artists have come to this platform, and they have kind of deconstructed their thought process, their lives and their art, which is great even for people and researchers like me who want to know like the other side of the story always. So it's a great platform, and I look forward to how things evolve here. Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed listening to my journey in the field, and I want you all to subscribe and like the channel, and also press the bell icon so that you can get all the updates on all the creative happenings, and so that you get to know more of the creative field and more creative content.